Oh, hey there! How you doing? I feel like to get noticed, you have to be super extra. Like, extra credit on all the assignments, baby. Because, you know, you see Jeffree Star, and then you see everyone else trying to be like Jeffree Star. And just, you know, those big personalities. And if RuPaul's Drag Race on right now, like, oh, forget it, you know. The queens run this shit. So, you know, I'm kind of extra anyway, so it's not really a big transition for me. I kind of try to tone myself down a little on the camera, trying to scare everyone away. Like, no, come off me! But I'm kind of over that. Today we are doing product favorites. Favorites that I've been using as of recently, that I've just been not being able to get enough of. My focused. I did all that and I'm not focused. I'm talking about all my favorites right here. I did a favorites video not recently. It was before I took my big break on YouTube, so it was like, oh, probably easily more than 6 months ago. I don't know. Time isn't real. Who cares? So, some of the stuff I have here, like, they're still favorites of mine. I've mentioned them in that last video, and I haven't stopped using them since then. They're still favorites. But because I already talked about them, and to avoid this video being 5 million years long, I'll just sort of briefly mention them. And I will also leave my favorites video listed down below, my previous one. And you can check that out as well, if you feel so inclined. I'm gonna skip skincare, because, I don't know about you guys, but skincare is just not something that is so interesting to me. I don't know, like, I feel like it's something I just have to do out of obligation because I wear all this makeup on my face, and makeup's inherently bad for your skin. So you gotta have a good skincare routine to counteract all the badness that makeup could possibly impact on your skin. If you guys want to hear, like, a general skincare favorites video of mine, if that's something that's interesting to you, you can let me know and I'll definitely do it for you guys. So for primers, the Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer is still an absolute favorite. You know it's a favorite because I've committed to a full size and spent all $36 on this primer, honey. And I haven't used it yet because I'm still using up my previous one. That's the small size one I have. But yeah, I'm not going to talk much about this. Talked about it already. You can see my last video for that. Another primer though that I've been really loving recently, and this isn't like a new product for me, it's actually a product I used to use a fair amount, but then I've sort of gotten out of touch with. Ipsy actually sent it to me, and I was like, oh! And I recently rediscovered it. It's the Rimmel Stay Matte. I have like 2 other tubes of it back there somewhere, but they're old as hell, and I'm trying to be nice to my skin, and I'm just gonna use a new one and not use that old one. So I've been using this exact one you see right here lately. And before, I used to have issues with this primer because I just use it and my makeup would just sit weird on top of my skin. Like, it would almost look too matte. But I think it was doing that because I was using too much of it. Similar to the Becca primer, honestly, it's pretty much a drugstore version of the Becca primer in that you need to use only the tiniest amount on like the T-zone or the areas where you get very oily, and it's gonna really keep your oils at bay and really keep your makeup on. The line between enough to mattify you and too much is very thin with this product. Like, even the other day, I think I put even just slightly too much on and it was still cakey. So it's like, it's one of those products that's like, it really works well, but can be tricky to maneuver around. I think the Becca primer I like a little better because it's actually a little bit safer, but I have been loving this one a lot recently. That I don't think I talk about that much, and they're not new to me, I love them a lot. I have the Smashbox Photofinish Primer, which is a cult favorite, and I also have the NYX Photo Loving Primer. Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer. The reason why I talk about these products together is because they're pretty much the same thing. I haven't noticed a noticeable difference between these two, and I've literally done like half of my side one day with one primer and half with the other, and I really noticed no difference between longevity and my makeup blending. So you can kind of save money and sort of cheat and get this next one. And these are smoothing primers. They're heavy in silicone, so if that's a problem for you, stay away. But you just rub it across your face and it makes your face so smooth, and it makes most foundations apply really well. I still love and use my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick constantly, but this isn't my last favorites. Still a favorite, still amazing. You can see my last video if you want to hear my thoughts on that. I'm like slowly inching closer because, I don't know, I want to be closer to you guys. I want you to feel the love. And also I'm just wearing like a regular ass shirt. My audio. I feel like When I start being noticed more on YouTube, that's when I'll start wearing nicer things. But until then, I don't care enough, so I'm gonna be comfortable, okay? Anyway, very random rambling note. A newer foundation, however, that I've really been loving, I'm actually wearing it today. It's really, I think you just saw a little preview there. Ooh, ooh. This is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I never know the full name, I just call it the Fenty Beauty foundation because everyone knows what I'm talking about, okay? There's only one, the one and only. And this is Rihanna's brand. We all know what it is. Even if you're not like a makeup artist or enthusiast, you all know what Fenty Beauty is. It just really hit the scene and it's really amazing due to its foundation range. It has like 40 something foundations and it's just a beautiful rainbow of tones. It is matte, so keep that in mind. It definitely has a matte finish, but there's just something about it. It looks natural ish on the skin. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't really like look like a lot of coverage, but it is a decent amount of coverage. I don't want to say it looks skin-like. I mean, I put a bunch of other products on top of it, so nothing about me is skin-like right now. But I use this on its own, and it looks pretty skin-like considering the coverage it is. And I think if you have dry skin, you can get away with this because I know other people have gotten away with this. Just don't use the primer because the primer I know is mattifying as well. Use like a dewy primer underneath it and, you know, maybe just use a small amount. Be careful of your dry areas. But if you have oily skin, definitely recommend this. This is a foundation that I've been using a lot. It's not a new one for me. I've had this for way too long. I've had this for almost like 2 years now. I shouldn't be putting this on my face. I'm just really I really live on the edge of glory when it comes to makeup and wear things for longer than I definitely should. Although I have to say I haven't experienced any true issues with my skin when I wore this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This is a drugstore gem. I want to throw this in here because all my other options are pretty much high-end. And this is like, I want to have something for the people. This is very long-lasting, very matte, and very like full coverage. Don't stay away from this if you have dry skin. It's not like the Fenty Beauty. Like, this looks like makeup on your skin. But it looks like good makeup. It is so beautiful, so full coverage, so long-lasting. I absolutely love it. I've been into powder foundations, and I've been using the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat. I talked about my Sephora powder foundation in my last video. That's pretty much out, and I've been using this one. I haven't had this for that long. 2 months. I got this on the Cyber Monday sale that Ulta had. I picked up a whole bunch of NYX products, and I already hit pan, and I haven't used it like a lot. Like, I've used it a good amount, but I don't know, powder foundations, I mean, I guess I'm really extra with powder, and I really like to pack it on, but this doesn't seem to last. I mean, in terms of like the product, the amount of product lasting, it doesn't seem to last as long as other products I have. It's for powder foundations in general. For me, that's like powder foundations and brow products. I go through them so quickly and it's like, already? I just got you! You just joined this fam! What you doing? I find pressed powders and powder foundations in general don't set my makeup as well as loose powders though, I have to say. I just prefer loose powders in general. I like this when I'm just doing like very light, like just concealer and no foundation, and I'm like, oh, I want a little more coverage, or I want my under eye to not be as bright. I'll just go in with this all over my face. Concealers I've been using a lot. NYX HD Concealer and Tarte Shade Tooth Concealer. NYX HD has been a favorite for really like 3 years. Like, I've gone through so many of these, and the Tarte Shape Tape, I mean, do I really have to say anything? So I talked about this in the last video, still use them a lot. This is actually a concealer Ipsy sent me, and it's actually an obscure brand, so this is something I'm sure not all of you have heard of. This is the Hey Honey Trick and Treat Active Propolis Cream Concealer. I keep tagging them in posts, and for some reason I kept calling it the Do Me Up Concealer. And then they actually messaged me saying, hey, thank you for the love, but we don't have a Do Me Up concealer in our line. And then I realized, Do Me Up? Isn't that like a primer from NYX? I've been calling this the Do Me Up for so long. I just embarrassed my ass in front of this brand. So this is the Hey Honey Trick and Treat, not Do Me Up, Active Propolis Concealer with treatment benefits. I don't know about that necessarily, I haven't really been paying attention. This is actually for normal to dry skin, but I actually find that it doesn't look super greasy, which I have a problem with some concealers. And it's fairly full coverage. It doesn't last as long as my Shape Tape, but it lasts a decent amount of time. So I really have been loving this, and I've been reaching for it a lot. This is, I believe, a mini. Actually, I don't know if this is like the standard size, or this is a mini. And I don't know how much this is. I'll have to actually look it up. I don't know if it's like drugstore or high-end priced. I haven't done my research. Haven't done my homework. I like to use this concealer for like priming my eyes, cleaning up my eyebrows. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. I'm in the shade SX03. This is very full coverage. This is comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape. Actually, if you find the Tarte Shape Tape a little too mattifying for you, because that's very matte, this is a very creamy concealer. It's in a pot right here like this. You might actually like this better. This is very expensive though. This is $38, which is a lot for a concealer. However, super full coverage. You need the tiniest amount. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you. Like, I just dip like that, and then it's super full coverage. I find you have to really make sure you set this well, because I didn't set it super well one day and it creased like a bee. If you set it, it's beautiful. It's very heavy looking like Tarte Shape Tape. It looks like makeup, but it's nice and full coverage, great for a night out, or it might be great like if you don't like Tarte Shape Tape because of its matteness but want something that's like as full coverage. This might be commendable if you're willing to pay. I got this on my Sephora VIB sale, so I did not pay full price for this. Powder! I'll be honest, the only loose powder I've really been using and loving is the RCMA No Color powder. Same as in my last video, which is months and months ago. It's almost gone. And I've had this since like July, so this lasted me a long time because I use this a lot. It's $10 and it's amazing. So people rave about this powder for the right reasons. Absolutely love this. But I talked about that in my last video. Some powders I do have to talk about are like finishing powders. I've been really into lately putting a finishing powder all over my face to try to make the skin look more like baby doll like and melded together and not so like caked with makeup, and just like try to like brush away excess powder, because like, you know, I really like to pack on the powder and like bake. Okay, I'll stop. Please don't leave. Please. Powder I really loved for that. This is also a very expensive one, I'm sorry. But it's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting. I have the shade Etherial Light, which is the lightest one they have. This is what it looks like. And so these are unlike anything else because they're marketed as highlighters. But it's really not a highlighter. Like, it'll give you a very soft glow if you pack it onto the cheekbones. But it's to the point where it's like not really worth it. It won't give you like a bing like most people want when they bother to like put highlighters on their cheekbones. So what I use this as like a finishing powder. It's very soft, very finely milled, and it just really blends and sinks into the skin really nicely. And it just makes makeup look a little bit better than it just did when you put this powder on. I'll use it also to like set my under eyes maybe if I want to like not have too much powder there. If I bake my entire face when it's really hot and I really want this makeup to stay, I'll take like a big fluffy brush like this and I'll sort of like just swirl it around in a pan and brush the powder off with that powder on the brush. That sort of helps it like brush away nice and evenly. Another powder I've been really loving, this is more of like a specialty product. This is the Ben Nye Super White Powder. I love all of Ben Nye's powders. They used to be like my absolute favorites until I discovered RCMA. But you can get these at Ricky's if you're in New York, and these are really nice powders, affordable powders. That last year a pretty good time being so tiny. But this is the Super White Powder. So what this is a loose powder that's meant for your face, except it has a white pigment mixed into it. So when you put it on areas of your face, it really brightens them because you're putting white pigment on your face. It's milled white pigment, so it's not going to make you look really ghostly. But if you really pack it on, it's going to like super brighten. And obviously that's only going to work if you're fair like me. You don't want to put this on your face if you really have a deeper skin tone. It's going to look super scary. But if you're pale like me, this is a really nice way to like really get that bright highlight. Or if I'm doing like special effects looks, I just want to be like paler in general. Or I can pack this all over my face. Or when I do like white face paint and like white cream paint, when I just want to have like, you know, white face for whatever reason, setting it with this powder just really helps enhance that white, which is something I have a lot of trouble doing. I really have to like layer on the products to really get that white opacity. And in addition to like making the white stand out, make it whiter, it also sets the makeup. So It's a unique product. It's not going to be for everyone, but it's for me. What's next? Contour. I really only have one contour product that really stood out to me, besides my Kat Von D Shade and Light, which has been, you know, with me for years and years. This is the Kevyn Sculpting Powder. It comes in this little, like, velvet pouch, which is so cute. This is in the shade Light, and it's just pretty light. This is, like, the same tone, actually, as, like, the lightest shade in the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. The one that I had pan on right here. You can sort of see they're very, very, very similar. I just got powder all over me. Ew, did I always have that? It's okay, you can't really see. It's how you know I've been working hard on this face, okay? It's no big deal. So this is basically just as good as the Kat Von D Shade and Light powders that I love and rave about all the time. It's very pigmented, blends really nicely, use it to contour today. You can have a very nice subtle cheekbone, or you can have a very nice, I really packed it on today, I really wanted to cut the cheek. So, I really packed it on. It can just get you any kind of beautifully contoured look that you want. However, I will say, it's as good as the Kat Von D, but I don't think it's better. The Kat Von D one, I think the singles, if you just buy like, you can buy like the single individual pans of that palette. I think a single contour from that is $16, at most $18. This is like 30 something. And I think you get more product in that one too, so that's just something to consider. They perform the same, but that one's, when you break it down, like, it's a lot cheaper. So, but I just have been using this one and I do love it. Blush! The only blushes I've been using that really have stood out to me, my Tarte blushes. I have 3 right here. One I've got from a gift, the other is one I got as my Sephora gift, and the other one Ipsy sent to me. I have the shade Fanciful, which is like a mauve tone. The shade Feisty, which is like a terracotta-y nude color. I have the shade Party. It's literally what it is. Party. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 E's, because that's necessary apparently. Love you, Tarte. And this is just, I mean, a nude. Pinky nude. Very light, very fair. Always gonna work on the lightest skin tones. I love all of these. They blend beautifully, they're super long lasting. For highlight, I got 3 different products here. The Color Effects Custom Enhancer Drops. And oh, do these enhance? These will enhance your life, these will enhance your soul, they'll enhance your highlight, they'll enhance your photo quality, they'll enhance the salad you're eating, they'll enhance everything. These are liquid metallic. I have 4 shades here, I got these in a set. I have the shade Moonlight. I have a cool Halo one, which is in the shade Halo. It's like an iridescent purpley. I have the shade Rose Gold. And I have the shade Celestial. Actually, this is better highlighted for my tone. This one's a little more pinky, whereas Moonlight is more champagne. Actually, they could both work, it's just the tones are different. Where Rose Gold would be better for someone a little bit deeper than me. Let me just swatch them. These are also a cult favorite. They're not new, but I just recently jumped on the bandwagon, so they're new for me. And they're beautiful. They're good for mixing into foundation to make it a little more dewy, dew-like. I don't know how well they layer on top of powder. I haven't actually tried that. That's something I definitely need to try soon. I don't want to try it today though because I want to look good. And I don't want to risk anything because I'm going to be on camera, all professional. You get that set, I don't know if you can still get it for like $42, which is the price of like one large size one. This is the mini size, but I was like, $42. I kept saying like, I want to try these, but I don't want to spend $42 on one color that I'm only going to use sometimes. Like, if they had like a small size with $20, I'd definitely get like 1 or maybe even 2. And then when they came out that $42 and you get 4 mini ones, I was like, you know what, that's perfect, I'm going for it. I've been loving this Wet n Wild Gold Bar. The Wet n Wild Megaglo Highlighting Gold Bar. It's in the shade Gold Bar. That's the shade, that's it. It's got a little star because it knows I'm a star. This would be nice if it was a little bit deeper. Try there. Yeah, you can see. It's like not like shabam, bling. But it's a good quality highlighter. It would be like more intense if I was deeper than I am. Because I'm so fair, I need something a little more like pearly champagne-y as opposed to like straight gold. I want that really intense highlight. This is a very nice natural highlight on me. It gives me a very subtle glow. It's all because of the tone. It's not because this highlight is meant to be subtle. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're deeper toned than me, it's probably going to be more intense for you. And it's $4 or $5. I mean, went wild. Sometimes when they get it right, they really get it right. Sometimes they don't get it right though. I have some shanky ass products from Went Wild that I'm just like, what went wrong here? But this is a good one. This is a different kind of highlighter. This is meant to be a very natural highlighter. This is the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Other Earthly. There's a bunch of different colors in here. You can sort of like use them individually, but I like to like swirl them together and just put it on. I actually use, in a similar way, I used the Hourglass powder recently. I just dust it all over my face and it gives me a bit more of an intense glow than the Hourglass powder. But it makes the skin look really like, not overly dewy or greasy, but just very like glowy from within and beautiful. Just a little more intense. Like you can definitely use this as a regular highlight, but even then it's going to be very natural. So if you're into natural highlights, you just want like that little bit of a glow, this is a very nice one. This is not new for me. I've had this for years and I sort of go into like phases with it. Like I'll be obsessed with it and then I'll put it down for a while and I'll be obsessed with it again. So now I am once again obsessed. For brows, I only have one product. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay, a volumizing brow powder. They have a bunch of shades. This is the shade Rich Brown. And super pigmented, long lasting. I obviously did not use it today because I didn't color brows. This is the perfect tone for me. It's not too gray, but it's not too brown. It's like perfect. And it's pigmented, but not too much so. I just swatched it on my thumb. That looks nasty, bitch. Damn. Listen, I just recorded this video, pressed on record, thinking I was all done, and then I just realized I didn't talk about my eyeshadow palettes. And eyeshadow is only like my favorite thing ever. How could I forget that? This palette, it's gonna be dirty because I give up with trying to get this palette clean. It is all white. There is no way you can keep this clean for more than 5 seconds. I've tried everything. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. The price was raised a lot more from Morphe. Like most Morphe palettes are $22. This was $38. And I was like, is that just because it's Jaclyn Hill's name on it? Or is there actually something about this palette that's worth it? And I have to say there is. This is my favorite Morphe palette. First of all, it has every color you could need. It has your neutrals, your warm tones, your darker shades, different tones of browns, some lighter highlighty shades, and then pops of color. The only thing it needs to be completely complete is like a light matte color, because the two light highlighty shades they have are both shimmers. I wish one of these were matte. Then it would have everything that I possibly need. This is the only palette I take with me when I travel usually. When I traveled to Boston a couple weeks back, this is the only palette I brought. The mattes are so good. Sometimes the mattes Morphe are kind of hit or miss, I've noticed in the palettes. Every single matte I've tried in this palette has been fabulous. So I think there's reformulation on the mattes. As for the shimmers, they might last a little bit longer, but they seem to be just about the same. I just absolutely love this. I didn't think I would love it this much. This is the only palette anyone has been using on Instagram for like months and months and months. But there's a reason why. It's so good. It's so good, you guys. You guys might be shocked by this. It's the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Yes, I love the Subculture palette. It is a favorite for me. First of all, I love the tones. This is very unique. The tones, you know, it's got yellows and it's got like mauve, red-ish colors. It's got some really interesting neutrals. It's got those like shifty colors, and then it's got the greens. The greens are my favorite part. I love the greens. It's very unique, the color selection. As for the formula, now I do understand why a lot of people don't like this palette, because they are pure pigment. These are the most pigmented eyeshadows I've ever used. It is almost to a point where it's too pigmented. Just have to be very careful. You have to use literally, I tap my brush in like, because I'm like, I don't want any trouble. And I'm very careful when I blend. The learning curve with this palette is tricky. Like, it's difficult to use. You can't use this the same way as you use other eyeshadows. And I definitely wouldn't recommend this palette if you're a beginner with eyeshadows or you're just not that good at putting on eyeshadow, because you will definitely have trouble with these. But if you know what you're doing a little bit, kind of, and I mean, I don't know, you can judge for yourself if I know what I'm doing. But I love this palette. It's just so unique, like insane, severe, traumatizing amounts of pigment in these eyeshadows. I don't even want to tap it because like it just gets everywhere. Like, you know, people have the fallout issue, like they were like tapping into pans and they could easily hit pan. Like, yeah, these are pure pigments and they're not going to be for everyone. You just have to realize what they are. And I just think it's really unique. I haven't tried eyeshadows quite like this. This palette I've talked about in my favorites video. Or no, not favorites video, my full face first impressions. It is the Galaxy Chic palette from BH Cosmetics. And can we just take a moment? Ah, look at that. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful in your entire life? And these shadows, I mean, it's all shimmers. And as opposed to like getting them on the brush and blending them into the crease, you do really have to work to really build it up. They're not really like, this isn't a palette that's ideal for getting a full look out of. You know, they're baked eyeshadows. However, as shimmer colors, just for packing all over the lid, they're amazing and they lasted so long in the eye. It still looks so beautiful after like 8+ hours, and I was like, wow. I've wanted this palette for so long just because of how it looks, and I finally have it and I'm really happy. And it's only like $16. Now lips, I have a bunch of little things that I can talk about. A bunch of little doohickey hockeys. This is the only one I've been really obsessed with. Like beyond obsessed. Like there was a point where I just only wore this. Oh my god, it's filthy on the back, but it's okay in the front. This is the Colourpop Crystal Lip Balm in the shade Aquamarine. So this product, I definitely want to swatch this one for you guys. I really built it up on my hand. It's not quite this intense when you just apply like one layer. But it's a gloss and it has, oh, it's not a gloss, it's a balm, a lip balm. But it has a iridescent purpley shift to it. They do have shades in this product that are more like normal colors, like wearable colors, like golds, champagnes, pinks. So you can definitely get one of those, but because I'm the queen of extra, I decided to get the blue shifty one. But you can build it up and it looks so beautiful. Like it looks like a gloss, but like not like a super defined gloss. It just looks really cool. I don't know how to explain it. There's a look where I did recently on my Instagram where I just put this on my lips and it just looked so nice with that said look. I'll leave a picture right here. But I've also liked to use this and then put another lipstick on top of it. Like I'll put this on my lips, let it set, then I'll put one of my other lipsticks or lip paints on top of it, and it just sort of transforms it into a different color, and like that like iridescence can sort of like peek through just a tiny bit. It's a good way to like change up your lip colors a little bit. And then it's also a balm, so it moisturizes your lips. So it's just a really cool product and I've just been so obsessed with it. This is the Hanalei lip treatment in Rose. This is something Ipsy sent to me. I don't know if they have multiple shades, but this is what I've been using as a lip balm as well, or as a lip moisturizer. I've really been loving the Colourpop lippy sticks recently. Oh my god, this cap is so dirty. I didn't clean any of these. Why? This is in the shade Baywatch. It's like a warm pinky nude. I just broke it trying to swatch it. That's it right there. Completely broke it. Absolutely gutted. Jesus Christ. They're not matte, but they're not quite like, you know, satin. They're sort of like in between almost. And I like the applicator. It really hugs the lips. It's like a really small, like, I'm just gonna say it, doggy. Someone else said that before, not me. That's not my original sick idea, don't you worry. But yeah, it just makes it really easy to apply. Don't need a lip liner or anything necessarily. I have a couple shades, but this is like the wearable one I've been wearing a lot recently. And then I've also been loving this Stila lipstick. This is the Color Balm lipstick, and this is interesting too. This is like a lipstick and a lip balm hybrid almost. It's very balmy feeling and very moisturizing. shades. This is it right here. This guy. It's in the shade Aubrey. I don't know if I said that. Lighter than Baywatch and a little more purpley toned. It smells like straight up mint. It's just really pretty and it feels nice on the lips and it feels moisturizing. It doesn't last super long because it's moisturizing and it's kind of like balmy, but it just goes on really nice and it just looks really pretty. It's a pretty one. A product that I really liked, and I'm surprised I like this and I've been reusing it lately. It's actually the Lush lipstick. It doesn't say the name of it, but this is the lipsticks that Lush have. They sort of have a lot of their products in like this little like bottle thing with the like, sort of looks like a dropper sort of cap. And then you have like an applicator right here. This is in the shade Passionate. I don't got no more room to swatch nothing. Really pretty, bright pink. It's not totally matte. It has sort of like a little bit of a metallicness to it, almost, but not too much so. This is a lip cream, and for a lip cream, it lasts pretty long lips. It does not dry down matte, so it's gonna transfer just a little bit, but considering it does transfer, I think it lasts really well, and I was surprised by this product. It applied really nicely. The last product, this is an expensive one, but I didn't pay for it. That's the only reason why I have it, but it's really good. This is probably my favorite gloss of all time in terms of formula. This is I don't have the name. I'll have all my names down below of all the products I talk about, as always. It's a YSL gloss, okay? It's a YSL gloss. These are like $38, ridiculously priced for a lip product. And this is in the shade 11 or 62 LNOS. I think they're numbered shades. However, this is the most long-lasting lip gloss formula I've ever tried, and I was sort of shocked by it. I got a whole bunch of shades. I think I only have one right now. I think I gave them all away because I was like, I don't need like 8 of these. I can just keep one. And this is a unique color. This is actually like a red. Very like orangey red. It's this one right here. It's not something I wear like a lot. They smell interesting. Sort of sweet, but sort of alcohol-y at the same time. It's not a terrible smell, it's just unlike anything I've smelled before. They're so beautiful, they glide beautifully. They're also opaque enough where you can just wear this on its own. You don't have to like have a lipstick underneath it and use it as a topper. Like these can stand out really beautifully on their own, which is not something all lip glosses can do, and it just lasts really well. I'll be honest when I say it is a nice formula, but it's $38. I wouldn't buy it only because I don't wear lip gloss that much anyway. Like, even though it's like the best lip gloss I ever tried, I haven't tried every lip gloss, or a lot of lip glosses even. But to this date, it is my favorite lip gloss. Which I'm mad because like, you don't gotta be $35, $38 though. Like, it's just because your name is YSL. I don't like designer brands. I don't like the fact that just because someone has their name on it, it's suddenly like $20 more expensive. When I know, I'm sure probably somewhere there's a gloss that's just as good as this. I just haven't tried it, so I can't say. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. Share it to the world. Share it to the children. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!